Good morning, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Myler. How is everybody? Today I'm going to read you a story. And this week, the activities that we sent home were about frogs and toads. So I'm going to read a story, a favorite of the Woodpeckers, and it's called Frog and Toad Together. And this story is called A List. One morning, Toad sat up in bed. I have many things to do today, he said. I will write them down on a list so that I can remember them. And Toad wrote down on a piece of paper a list of things to do today. And then he wrote, "Wake up." "I have done that," said Toad, and he crossed off "Wake up." Then Toad wrote a list on a piece of paper, a list of things to do today. Wake up, eat breakfast, get dressed, go to Frog's house, take a walk with Frog, eat lunch, take a nap, play games with Frog, eat supper, and go to sleep. "There," said Toad, "now my day is all written down." And he got out of bed and he had something to eat. And then Toad crossed out, "Eat breakfast." Toad took his clothes out of the closet and he put them on, and then he crossed out, "Get dressed." And Toad put his list in his pocket. He opened the door and he walked out into the morning, and soon Toad was at Frog's house in his front door, and he took the list out of his pocket and he crossed out, "Go to Frog's house." Toad knocked on the door. "Hello," said Frog. "Look at my list of things to do today," said Toad. "Oh," said Frog, "that's very nice." Toad said, "This list tells me that we have to go for a walk." "All right," said Frog, "I am ready." So Frog and Toad went on a long walk, and then Toad took out his list from his pocket again, and he crossed out, "Take a walk with Frog." Just then there was a strong wind, and it blew the list out of Toad's hand, and the list flew high up into the air. "Help!" cried Toad. "My list is blowing away. What will I do without my list of things to do?" "Hurry," said Frog. "We will run and catch it." "No," shouted Toad, "we cannot do that." "Why not?" asked Frog. "Because," wailed Toad, "running after my list is not one of the things that I wrote on my list of things to do." So Frog ran after the list, and he ran over the hills and the swamp, but the list kept blowing on, and at last Frog came back to Toad. "I'm sorry," gasped Frog. "I could not catch your list." "Blah," said Frog. "I cannot remember any of the things that were on my list of things to do. I will just have to sit here and do nothing," said Toad. So Toad sat and did nothing, and Frog sat with him. After a long time, Frog said, "Toad, it's getting dark. We should be going to sleep now." "Go to sleep!" shouted Toad. "That was one of the last things on my list of things to do." So Toad wrote down on the ground with a stick, "Go to sleep." And then he crossed out, "Go to sleep." He wrote it right on the bottom of the dirt, "Go to sleep." "There," said Toad. "Now my day is all crossed out." "I'm glad," said Frog, and then Frog and Toad went right to sleep. So that's one chapter in our story, Frog and Toad. So I thought a nice activity that you could do today, boys and girls, is make a little list, just like Frog and Toad did. And Frog begins with the letter F, and Toad begins with the letter T. So if you can go on a little scavenger hunt in your house or outside in your yard and find things that begin with the letter F and the letter T. So I went on a scavenger hunt at my house, and I found 3 things that begin with the letter F. I found a fork, I found a flashlight, and I found a file folder. And then for the letter T, for Toad, I found tape, and I found a toothbrush, and I found a teddy bear. So those are the things I found in my house. So when you go on your scavenger hunt, see what you can find that start with the letter F for frog and T for toad, and have great fun doing it. I miss you all so very much, boys and girls. Have a great day. I love you.